All right, oil. I've got somebody, a friend of mine, who's asking me about, he texted me, he said, is it all right to buy oil? I said, nope, not yet. Why? Because we got an oversupply. But it's low, right? Yeah. So it's a good time to buy. Not yet. Why? Stop asking me questions. I'm telling you that it's not the right time to buy. All right, let me ask the question. For those of you with anything, what's going to drive oil prices higher? Demand. Demand.
Demand, there you go.
There you go. Demand is. The demand is not there. We got a lot of boats sitting in the ocean waiting, holding oil at a big expense per day. We've got oversupply. We've got so much oil, we can't even refine it because we got so much oil. Well, if the supply is there, where's the demand? If there's no demand, is oil prices going to go up? No. Now, you've seen a spike in oil. All right, I'm not going to say that you haven't, and that's got a lot to do along with some military things. Some boats in Iran messing around with our ships and blah, 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 blah. There's some tensions going on there, but we've got an oversupply of oil. So let's go, scroll down a little bit. Tumbling oil prices will have a broad regional impacts on the U.S. economy, hitting states far afield from Texas, which is the engine of the national energy boom during the past decade. Wyoming, Alaska, Oklahoma, North Dakota, and West Virginia all depend more on mining and energy extraction than the Lone Star State. All right, that's one story. Let's go to another one. Now, here's a story that talks about oil rallies on Gulf tensions and output cuts. So the Saudis cut back on oil. A lot of people are trying to cut back on oil to lessen the supply in the space. So because of that, people are like, hey, it's time to go buy oil. Not yet. That cut in oil production still got to catch up to all the oversupply. So yeah, people are starting to get oil to rise, and you're like, man, it's getting ready to go. But that's on intentions later. All right, this is speculating, saying that, yeah, the cuts are going to start to drive up demand. We still got to get through the oversupply. All right, so keeping that in mind, let's go to my oil stocks that I have in my list. Oh, did I do it the wrong way? I probably did. I did it for me that way. All right, so let's go back to my list. So let's talk about that. 423, what are my oil stocks? WTI. I've got 3 stocks in here for oil. I've got WTI, I've got MPC, which is Marathon, and I've got CVX, which is Chevron. I hate when that happens. MPC. Let's check these out. All right. Chevron, overvalued. Well, because we got a spike in what people perceive is going to happen with the cuts, driving the stock's price higher. People are paying a premium to own the stock. Marathon, undervalued. I do like that as a play. And W&T Offshore, pretty fairly valued. Now I'm looking at Chevron, which is overvalued. Upside potential, not there. But Marathon, RV above 1, it's got good upside potential as compared to AAA corporate bond. WTI, not so much. None of them have a safety above 1, which means when earnings comes out, most likely none of these stocks will meet earnings, which means what? It becomes a little less attractive to investors because if they miss earnings, stocks prices are going to go down. Let's see which ones are in an uptrend. Actually, none of them yet. So a spike in price doesn't mean it's in an uptrend. Look at the RT. Well, let me back up. Chevron's got an RT above 1. The stock is considered to be in an uptrend. Marathon, way down in the RT. This stock has gotten beaten up, still hasn't moved yet. W&T Offshore is right at 1, about ready to move into an uptrend, but not quite yet. Look at this. From an earnings growth rate, Chevron growing their earnings at a negative rate. Marathon at a negative rate, and oil again, WTI at a negative rate. So if I'm trying to be long-term on oil, I'd rather be in a company that's growing their earnings. How about that? All right, our earnings per share are all positive. All right, 537, 614, and 17 cents. But I'd rather be in a stock that not only has positive earnings, but is growing their earnings. Let's look at these stocks on a graph. All right, So not the industry graph, that's what I'm looking for. Right click, look at the stock graph. So people are talking about, yeah, oil's moving, it's time to go, 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 go. All right, let's put this on a 3-month graph. What's Chevron doing right now? It's above the 20-day. What's it doing? It's meeting a level of resistance right now. Not ready to touch it yet. Look at that. Boom, sitting at about 89.98. All right? Stock's trading at 87.40. RT, because the stock is moving sideways, back and forth above and below 1. Remember, when RT is above 1, the stock's in an uptrend. Back and forth because the stock is moving sideways. Let's take a look at MPC Marathon. Same kind of scenario. Stock's moving sideways. But wait a minute. This is oil stocks. We should be jumping all over them. That's the news. Let the software analyze the stock, look at the graph, make a better decision. And when I say to my friend, it might not be the right time to buy oil, I ain't just whistling Dixie. There's a reason behind it. All right, look at the volume. Somebody asked me, when do you use volume? Look at the volume on the stock, pulling back. Let's go to the last one. Now, WT Offshore starting to move higher. Little wick at the top. Got a lot more volume with it. RT just got above 1. If I'm looking at the 3 stocks and I'm looking at trading by price action, WT Offshore might be one that I keep my eye on. But make sure you buy higher than the high to ensure that you're buying into a rising stock. Let's take this a step further. Let's go to our watch list and let's go look at, do I have oil stocks? I've got petroleum stocks. Let's go look at petroleum stocks. Same kind of thing. How many stocks are in here? I've got 80 stocks that are in here. A lot of them are a little expensive, some not as expensive. Let's go look at the watch list average of these stocks. All right. So we looked at the stocks that made the news. Let's go look at the average. Is it the time to buy oil? Folks, I'm looking at 80 stocks in one watch list. Is it time to buy oil? Look at the picture. Look at the picture. So instead of getting caught up in the news and seeing the stock that's running, the stocks that are running, those are good trades. I wouldn't tell you to stay with those stocks for long term. This is the movement, folks, of 80 oil stocks. Are you ready to jump on board and back the truck up and say, I'm ready to go? This is the story. This is the analysis that we give beyond just people telling you, go buy oil. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. That's my oil story. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.